If we were to make a list of the world's most audacious goals, publicly stated by people that intended on achieving them, I think a number of Elon-led projects would be in the top 10. Add this to the list. This is massive, so make sure you're sitting down for this. I'm not kidding, by the way. Join XAI and help build a purely AI software company called Macrohard. It's a tongue-in-cheek name, but the project is very real. Okay, make sure you're sitting down. In principle, given that software companies like Microsoft do not themselves manufacture any physical hardware, it should be possible to simulate them entirely with AI. Holy shit, he's got a point. Now, I'll explain in a little bit more detail for those of you who are like, what the, huh? What? But first, just remember that this is the same motherfucker who thought reusable rockets would be a good idea and is now dominating the launch industry and a few years away from the first mission to Mars. The same guy who thought it'd be a good idea to force the entire vehicle industry to move toward electrification. Same guy who thought it'd be a good idea to build compelling and increasingly more capable brain interfaces for humans. We're now past 10 cyborgs via Neuralink. Same guy who thought it'd be a good idea to buy Twitter, burning dumpster fire of a company, shit can 80+% of the employees and make a vastly superior product and a vastly more profitable company. I could do this all day. My point is, when Elon Musk says something that people think is ridiculous, impossible, absurd, most of the time they're right, yet he somehow still seems to pull it off. That was totally not an intentional pun. Speaking of jerking oneself off, back in July, some guy with 3 first names posts XAI's Macrohard is coming soon. Just over 1 month later, and turns out that XAI's Macrohard has come. Let's go back to the pre-announcement post from Musk, where I was very easily able to predict the name of this entity before it was officially announced. Elon had posted this in reply to somebody who, with Grok, stunningly, had developed a video game with a bunch of prompts. A Diablo 2 point-and-click, demon-slaying, monster-killing. This guy's looking like he's playing a mage or something along these lines. An incredible result. Check this out. Then he wrote, I took Grok 4 for a spin this weekend to build this game prototype. In response to this, Musk writes, we are creating a multi-agent AI software company via XAI, where Grok spawns hundreds of specialized coding and image and video generation and understanding agents, e.g. a company basically, all working together, and then emulates humans interacting with the software in virtual machines until the result is excellent. In other words, this announcement made it quite clear, rest in fucking peace, the entire existing video game industry. Musk had announced intent to essentially build a software company within XAI that would eat everything involved in developing video games. I'm going to go through this again just to make sure nobody missed anything. The whole idea, Grok would spawn hundreds of specialized coding and image AI agents, right? A bunch of little Groks doing different jobs, different video game developer jobs, and also emulating, aka simulating, how humans interact with the software in virtual machines until the results are excellent. He added, cheekily, this is a macro challenge and a hard problem with stiff competition. Can you guess the name of this company? By the way, more proof that the male sense of humor stops aging at 12, and that's a good thing. So obvious things are obvious. Macrohard coming soon, next minute, officially announced. So it turns out, which I guess we probably should have seen coming. God, these puns just keep on delivering today. When Musk was talking about Grok spawning hundreds of specialized coding, image, blah, 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 agents, aka people essentially emulating humans interacting to produce excellent results. This didn't just apply to the video game industry, which, by the way, again, rest in fucking peace. For those who don't know, the gaming industry is enormous. It dwarfs every other form of entertainment. And when a video game is being developed, sometimes they have budgets in the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, involving many thousands of people over many years. They're also extremely complicated projects to manage. If anyone would like a little bit of insight into this industry, there's an author, Jason Schreiner, who's written a number of books, including Play Nice, Blood, Sweat and Pixels, and Press Reset, discussing the video game industry, development. It's fascinating stuff if you're a nerd. I don't think people truly appreciate the level of complexity, expense, and overhead involved in producing a AAA video game. But relative to a video game developer, a company like, say, Microsoft, if you could essentially simulate the entire company via AI, holy fuck. Microsoft, which, by the way, I literally, in grade 7, at 12 years old, was making jokes about Macrohard. I wasn't kidding when I said male senses of humor stop developing at age 12, and that's exactly how it should be. Currently has a market cap of $3.77 trillion. And as Musk points out, they do not manufacture hardware. So if a company like XAI's Macrohard could simulate Microsoft, the entire company, what happens to the valuation of Microsoft, the entire company? This could be the disruption of disruptions. Now, I know it's going to be very hard for some people to swallow, but if successful, holy shit, things are about to get very meta. I've just asked an AI, ex-AI's Grok 4 Heavy, to explain this post like I'm dumb in more detail, how an entire company like Microsoft could be simulated just with AI, and to also talk about the potential implications for massive disruption within the equity markets if this happens. So let's see how Grok explains this like I'm dumb, which I am. First, the concept of simulating a company with AI. Elon Musk's post suggests creating a purely AI software company called Macrohard, a joke on Microsoft. The idea is that since companies like Microsoft mainly create software, not physical stuff like cars or factories, AI could theoretically simulate or replace the entire company. Now, I have to pause here. You may believe that XAI won't be successful, but you cannot argue that this statement is not, in fact, true. AI could theoretically simulate an entire company if everything they output is intellectual, software, no physical hardware. They're not involved in moving atoms around. This is absolutely true. Grok's reasoning continues, meaning AI does all the work humans do now, from coding to decision making, without needing people. Think of it like this. Imagine a video game where AI characters run a virtual business, but here it's real. The AI company produces actual software products, handles customers, and makes money, all automated by smart AI systems. Now again, in theory, this is absolutely possible. How it could work, explain like you're a DMF. To simulate a company like Microsoft with just AI, we'd break it down into parts that AI can handle. Here's how explained simply, like building with Lego blocks. 1. By the way, it's actually really funny. I was having dinner with a friend literally last night and we were talking about this exact thing. He's talking about his business and how quickly it'll be until he's replaced and when he can replace his staff and the whole industry. We had this whole conversation over dinner, a couple of hours, pretty much focused on just talking about AI disruption, how we'll find meaning, purpose, blah, blah, blah. I predicted within 5 years he better figure the fuck out what he's doing next, otherwise rest in peace. Anyway, back to Grok. Replace human roles with AI agents. A company has people in jobs like programmers, designers, managers, marketers, and customer support. AI agents, like advanced chatbots or robots, could take over. For example, AI coders. And as we know already, AI coding is next fucking level. So AI coders write and fix software code automatically. AI managers analyze data to make decisions, like what new features should we add to our app. AI support bots handle customer questions 24/7, learning from past interactions. 2. Automate the core business. Microsoft makes things like Windows, Office, and cloud services. AI could generate code for new software versions by learning from existing code bases. Test and debug products on its own, spotting bugs faster than humans. And by the way, that is a massive understatement. Spotting bugs 1 trillion times faster than humans. Could also update products in real time based on user feedback without waiting for meetings. Now, again, I just have to take a moment here. There is nothing so far in this explanation that anyone can argue is not possible. You just can't. The real question is, how hard will it be to pull this off? And how long? The puns are the gift that keeps giving today. How long until it happens? Those are the questions. Not, is this possible? It's obviously possible. The question is, how long? Number 3, handle operations and growth. AI runs behind the scenes stuff. Accounting, tracking money. Legal, generating contracts. And HR. But since there are no humans, this is minimal. I mean, come on, Grok. What HR is needed if the entire company's AI? You might need AIR. Next, for growth. AI could scan the internet for trends, invent new ideas, and even hire more AI by scaling up compute power. It all runs on powerful servers with AI models, like those from XAI or OpenAI, connected in a network where AIs talk to each other. By the way, speaking about AIs talking to each other, I'm just going to scroll a little bit here. When I did this query with Grok Heavy, 4 independent AI agents all worked on this project, this question, conferred with one another, and then brought me back results. You can see, if you are a Grok Heavy user, this is absolutely amazing stuff. So we're already seeing examples with multiple AI agents talking to each other in this very video. 4, key enablers. No physical manufacturing needed. Okay, everything's digital, so it's easier to automate. Again, you don't need to move atoms around. Advanced AI, like future versions of Grok, that can think creatively, learn endlessly, and work non-stop without salaries or breaks. Challenges. AI isn't perfect yet. It hallucinates or makes errors, don't we all? So we need safeguards like human oversight at first, or super reliable AI, which is where things are headed. In short, start with AI tools doing one job, connect them into a system, and let it run like a self-driving factory for software. It's not fully possible today, but Musk thinks it's coming soon with better AI. And now, From the investor's point of view, this is what I was building to, so I hope you're still with me. This is very important. Potential implications for equity markets. Massive disruption. If AI simulated companies become real, stock markets could face huge shakeups. By the way, a quick side note, I've seen a few people already on this news discussing some concerns around Palantir. Now, I'm not trying to spread fear and uncertainty here. I'm just saying I've seen a lot of people going, oh, fuck, wait, if they're successful, then what would happen to a company like Palantir that's also entirely... Could you simulate that? Ooh, hardware is hard. So, if AI simulated companies become real, it's not really if, it's when. Stock markets could face huge shakeups. Here's why, with pros and cons. Rapid new competitors. Anyone with AI tech could spin up a company overnight, cheap and fast. And yes, this is also something that came up in my discussion last night with my friend. We are going to see many billion-dollar companies with a single person behind them powered by AI. This will become a new norm. A one-person billion-dollar company. Not if, but when. There will be many. This floods markets with rivals to giants like Microsoft, Google, or Adobe. Stock prices of old companies could crash if they lose market share. Imagine Microsoft's value dropping 50% if an AI clone undercuts them on price. Efficiency and valuation shifts. AI companies cost less. No employee salaries, offices, or benefits. Maybe 90% cheaper, and I'd actually go further, probably 99.99% cheaper at scale. Real major cost is just energy for training and operations. Investors might flock to these lean AI firms, boosting their stocks wildly. Like a new tech bubble. Traditional firm stocks suffer as profits shrink from automation. Job losses and economic ripple effects. Millions of tech jobs vanish, leading to risk. By the way, for those who don't know, tech jobs generally speaking pay quite well. It's not uncommon for somebody to be making 150, 200, 250, 300, 400, 500k or more in total compensation per year in tech. Onto job losses and economic ripple effects. Millions of tech jobs vanish, leading to recessions or inequality. What's new? Stocks in HR firms, office, real estate, or education could tank, but stocks in AI hardware, e.g. NVIDIA chips or energy for servers, explode. Market volatility and regulation. Sudden disruptions cause panic selling and panic buying with wild swings, e.g. up 200% or down 80% in days. Governments might regulate AI companies, hurting stocks if rules slow innovation. Long term, a few AI mega firms dominate, creating monopolies that regulators break up, further disrupting markets. So I'm noticing a trend here, massive disruption potentially on the horizon. Overall, huge upside for AI pioneers like XAI, but massive risk for legacy tech stocks. Equity markets could see trillions in value shift, similar to how internet disrupted retail, Amazon versus malls, but 10 times faster and bigger. Fact check, I'd probably say maybe like 1,000 times faster and bigger. Investors should watch AI advancements closely. So this is seriously wild. Should have seen this coming. The question isn't if but when. At no point during this video did we encounter anything that's not reasonable or probable over time. The real question isn't if but when. And given the insane rate of progress we've seen with XAI, late to the party, then dominating best in industry with their LLM Grok, Musk's multi-decade track record of doing the impossible and doing so impossibly fast, I would not be betting against Macrohard being massively successful. Could be a very turbulent decade. Now, the distinction here between entirely software, IT, intellectual companies, e.g. Microsoft, and hardware manufacturers is, doesn't matter how smart your AI, if it's not embodied, e.g. in a human-ish form or physical form, it can't move atoms around. Electrons, yes. Atoms, no. Big difference. So manufacturing, hardware, e.g. vehicles, even AI training hardware, that at least at this point is not something that can be completely eaten up by AI. But just imagine if XAI are successful here, and I would suggest that disrupting video game creation might be a nice little trial run before they start going after the real big fish companies like Microsoft. Shit is about to get real wild. P.S. I can't wait for Tesla to ask you and I, Tesla retail investors, if we would be okay with Tesla investing a little bit in XAI. Any time now would be great. It's actually going to be voted on pretty soon. But man, please.